So if I did this correctly, and I do this correctly, I should get the same answer. So I put down the quadratic formula, okay? So here's the formula. Don't forget it, okay? And I plugged in A, which is 1, B, 2.5, and C, negative 1.5. The reason I like this way is I did not have to pick up a calculator. And some of you went, yes, you did. No, I knew that 2.5 was 5 halves. I knew that 1.5 was 3 halves, okay? So I'm going to go negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C, all divided by 2 times A. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, this is the craziest part. So since this is the craziest part, I'm going to deal with this part first. So 2.5 squared is 6.25. I know that a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, and I think 4 times 1.5 is 6. And then I get the square root of 12.25. I got to figure that out one sec. So the square root of 1225 is 3.5. So that means now all of this turned into this. So now I have negative 2.5 plus or minus 3.5 over 2. So that literally means negative 2.5 plus 3.5 over 2 and negative 2.5 minus 3.5 over 2. If I have negative 2.5 plus 3.5, I really have, ooh, something happened here. I got to figure it out. I'll figure out the mistake in a second. I have 1 over 2, but you notice how I got negative 1/2, so I got to figure it out. And then negative 2.5 and negative 3.5 is negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. So let me pause it real quick and find my mistake. I see my mistake in the way beginning, which is something I'm going to put in the video. I already did. This was a positive 5, and what did I write? Negative 5. So that should be positive, negative, positive, negative, 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 positive. This is why you should check your answers, because we are all human, and we all make mistakes. And some of you go, well, then I'm going to do it the quadratic formula way, because you didn't make a mistake here. Well, yeah. But what if next time this is where I make the mistake, okay? It's nice to have different ways to do things. It's also nice to know how to check. So that means I should be able to go 1/2 squared plus this minus this, and it should equal 0. I would use your calculator to do that. So what I would do, let me pause it and show you. So I told you I would check, and that's exactly what I did. So I plugged in 1/2 to this original equation. I got 0. That's what I'm supposed to get. It says equals 0. And then I also plugged in negative 3, and I got 0. Which means if I would have plugged in negative 1/2 and positive 3, I would have seen my mistake. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, now we have a whole bunch of solving. We should be good at solving now. But what they're really trying to encourage you this unit is to really solve it whatever way you want to. So you can do it differently, but what would work for me is divide by 4. Now here's what I need you to get about absolute value equations. You're actually going to have 2 answers, because remember how you had the V and these 2 matched and these 2 matched? So what that means is you're going to be splitting it. Good review in solving for x. 8x minus 2 equals 2. 8x minus 2 equals negative 2. Now some of you go, why are you doing that? Well, the absolute value of 2 is 2. And the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. So whether I get a positive number or a negative number, my answer will be 2. Okay. So some of you go, well, when is it no solution? If you ended up with absolute value of 8x minus 2 equals negative 2, you can never take the absolute value of anything and make it negative. So that would be no solution. However, if you had this, and you're like, no solution. No, because you have an absolute value on the outside. I mean, a number on the outside. When you get rid of that, it's positive. Now you split it. Keep that in mind. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify. 8x equals 4. Careful. Some of you are going to say 2. It is not 2. It's 1/2. Add 2. X equals 0. Now, how do you know I'm right? Let's check it. Half of 8 is 4, minus 2 is 2, absolute value of 2 is 2, times 4 is 8. Yay for me. 8 times 0 is 0, minus 2 is negative 2. Absolute value of negative 2, 2 times 4, 8. I'm amazing. Okay? We had this on the quiz before, but now we are going to be so good at it. What's the first thing I would do? Subtract 9. Can I square it now? No, you got to get rid of the 3. It's being multiplied. The opposite is divide. Now it's square rooted. Now I can square it. Okay. Now in this one, it's a square root. So I don't have 2 answers. I only have 1. There's nothing matching on the other side. So I get 4x minus 8 equals 4. 4x equals 12. X equals 3. How do you know I'm good to go? Let's check it. 4 times 3 is 12, minus 8 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2, times 3 is 6, plus 9 is, I'm amazing. Now, if it doesn't work, the time it probably wouldn't work is if you had something like this. If you ended up here, and let me zoom out a little bit, and you ended up with a square root of 4x minus 8 equals negative 2. That was on your quiz a week or 2 ago. Because the square root of anything can never be a negative number. The square root of everything is always positive. But remember, if I have a negative 2 on the outside, doesn't mean it's no solution. I could divide by negative 2, and then the square root of 4x minus 8 equals 1. I can take the square root of things and have them be positive. Careful of that. Okay, let's go to this one. So some of you go, I want to set it equal to 0. The problem is if you set it equal to 0, but it doesn't say equals 0, that won't match up. So if I were you, I would take this and I would box it out. So 2y minus 3, y minus 2. These two are the same. This should be review, okay? This should hopefully be review. Now I'm going to take all this and I'm going to move it over. Okay, and then you're going to factor it, whatever way you factor it. Give me a second. I want to show you how I do it actually when I say give me a second. So I know 2y squared can only be 2y and y. And I'm going to do something called guess and check. I'm going to think of all the ways to multiply to get 12. So I know 6 and 2. That would be 2y and 12y. That doesn't give me 5. So if I switch it, I get 6 and 4. That's not going to give me 5. But what if I put a 4 here and a 3 here? That would be 3 and 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. So if this was positive and this was negative, it would work, because 8 minus 3 is 5. And if some of you go, what the heck did she just do? Don't worry about it. Do it the way you know. If some of you go, ooh, I like that way better, then do that way. But you need to be able to justify it, so I don't think you just copied it off the internet. We'll do other examples of this, okay? All right. Uh-oh, this is a fraction. What do I want to do? I want to get rid of the fraction. So I notice the first thing has an x. The second thing also has an x, and it has a 3. And this one also has a 3. So if I multiply everything by 3x, I could eliminate stuff. So this x and this x would be gone. All of this and all of this would be gone. And this would be gone. Now I would distribute 15 plus. Oh, there's nothing left, so it's just 1 equals distribute 4x squared. 15 plus 1 is 16. Divide by 4. Now you square root. How do you know I'm right? Plug it in. Okay? All right, we talked about this here. An absolute value can never be negative. No solution. You can never get an answer that's going to work. That's it. Okay, let's do this one. What's my issue? The 5 and the 15. If I multiply by 5, the 15, if I had a 5 here, and that's all I did, then there would still be a 3 on the bottom. But if I multiplied everything by 15, and again, if you want to do it a different way, I don't care. Just make sure you actually know what you're talking about. Then you're good to go. The 5 goes into 15 3 times, so that would distribute. There's nothing that can go away here because there's nothing on the bottom. So minus 3w times 15 equals, and now all of this is gone, 12w minus 18. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Distribute, distribute. Distribute, distribute. Put the same together. I might have done that wrong. We'll find out pretty quick. Hold on one sec. I knew that wasn't right. 27. Looked at it, it just was going too fast. Move this over. Move this over. I still could have made a mistake, okay? I get w equals 15 over 39, but that is wrong. You can actually divide by 3. How would you know? Use Desmos and it'll simplify it for you, okay? Can you plug it in to check it? Yeah. Do you have to do it manually? No, you don't have to know what 6 times this is. Use Desmos and plug it in if you feel like it. Okay, next one. Add 2. Okay. Now, some of you go, this is no solution. I understand it's no solution. But in this case, to solve it, you could square root it. There's nothing I can do here to get rid of it. Okay? So that means I could get imaginary answers. Plus or minus I rad 3. I cannot take the square root of 3. This looks like a good one. So that means, how many solutions did I get? 2. Are they real or imaginary? Imaginary. So if I was to graph this thing, it would be over here and not touch the x-axis at all. Okay? But for absolute value, I cannot find any x's will work. Nothing will work. Real or imaginary, I just can't do it. Okay? And some of you go, when do I do that? When do I not? Okay, if you're square rooting or cube rooting, okay? All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to box it out. Oh man, I know what mistake you're going to make and it's going to make me moody. Okay, don't put x squared plus 4. Oops. Distribute. I know, it's pretty. X squared, 4x plus 4x is 8x. 4 plus 8 is 12 minus 5 is 7. Two numbers that multiply, two numbers that add. You can do this on your own. Factoring should be no problem. And of course you can check your answers and make sure you're good to go. That was a long lesson. Let's get to the homework. I'm going to do as much as I can in a little bit of time. They just want you to take this. They want you to graph it. Make sure you find the x-intercepts and the vertex. Okay? This is solve, 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 solve. This is plug in. And if you say, well, it's a letter, then just plug in the letter. It's okay. Right? I will be going over it, but I want you to be brave and try it. Here, they want you to solve by completing the square. And they want the line of symmetry. That's what LOS is. That means they want x equals whatever that value is. Determining if it's odd, even, or neither. Remember, that's when you plug in f of x and you plug in f of negative x. If they're the same, it's even. If they're opposite, it's odd. And if it's neither, then it's neither. Okay? And you can find the equation of this because it's a parabola, which means it's an x squared. All right, write a possible equation. You did this before. It was in the bonus homework, but I will make sure I post that, the answers, so that you can see that from the bonus. But a lot of it, you need to focus on what the vertex is and what the parent function is. And some of you go, what's the parent? Whether it's x or x squared or x cubed or square root x or 1 over x or absolute value of x. Okay, we've learned all those. All right. Oh, that was a pretty short assignment, so you'll be fine.